Our News on Terror segment tonight, Iran's defense minister set to visit Moscow as Iran and Russia are boosting their military alliance in Syria. The purpose of the visit at the end of the month to discuss increased military ties. The move, of course, is meant to deter U.S. action in the region and show a sign of increased force. Take a look.
However, we are very sad to observe that in a state such as Syria, only the Russian Federation, Iran, and the legitimate government and people of Syria are feeling in a genuine struggle against terrorists, and in Iraq as well, where only Iran is in the arena of this struggle, together with the Iraqi people by the government. In this process, the Americans, with the help of a new political doctrine, the commercialization of security, are trying to present a new form of world fascism and fix their role in the world order. The result of this policy is the creation of false and imaginary threats.
With me now from the Washington Free Beacon, Adam Kredo. Adam, good to see you.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
It's always great to have you here. All right, Adam, talk to me about this. Iran and Russia moving closer together militarily. What exactly does that mean?
Well, look, the Iranians and the Russians have been growing closer for quite some time after this landmark nuclear deal that was largely backed by Russia. They almost immediately began arms sales. That is boosting missile defense, the S-300 system, a range of other things. The Russians are also moving in to actually build new nuclear reactors in Iran because that's something they seem to need, and actually that's permissible under the deal, these light water nuclear reactors. So Russia's helping them make nuclear progress. The next step now is building up their armory, that is offensive weaponry and also defensive weaponry, like more advanced missile defense system. Essentially, this is a ploy by the Russians. They do it intentionally to counter U.S. action in the region. That is the U.S. in Iraq, that is the U.S. in Syria and elsewhere. And for a long time, it spooked our allies, particularly Israel and Saudi Arabia. So this is more of an effort to kind of spook U.S. allies and the U.S. itself in the Persian Gulf region.
It seems like a pretty funny thing for Russia to be doing if Russia is in fact the puppet master of President Trump, you know, allying themselves with a nation that calls America the Great Satan. Something doesn't add up there. Seems like there's at least one narrative here that can be thrown to the side based off of this action. First of all, let me touch on something that you said, though. You said that nuclear reactors, Russia is helping Iran build in Iran. That's actually permissible under the nuke deal?
Yeah, it is. There's a carve-out in the nuclear agreement, the JCPOA, that actually allows Iran to pursue certain types of nuclear endeavors. That includes light water reactors. They claim it's for civilian use. The problem is you have plutonium after on that. The plutonium left over from these nuclear reactors could essentially be used to create a dirty bomb of types or enriched even more. The Russians are set to build about 5 new nuclear reactors through Iran. According to the Obama administration, this is perfectly permissible underneath the landmark agreement. This is part of the reason why Congress and others have been screaming for so long that it was such a bad deal. Russia knew they were going to be able to do business, and that's why they moved in so quickly, and also why they played such a key role in fostering the nuclear agreement.
Right. It's absolutely insane. I mean, the Obama administration, sometimes it's mind-boggling to me how naive they could be. This is the country, this is the nation, Iran, by the way, that uses their civilian airports, their civilian passenger jets to ferry weapons and money. They use them militarily. Who on earth in their right mind would trust Iran to be using a nuclear reactor for a civilian-only purpose, not to be using the leftovers in it for some kind of military weaponry purpose? It's insane, Adam, insane. But why Iran? Why is Russia seeking Iran here? Because it seems like Iran is a bit unstable, clearly. They do hate Israel, they do hate the United States. Why Russia and Iran?
It's a partnership of convenience. Certainly the Iranians want it more than the Russians. The Russians see it more strategically than anything. They don't necessarily agree with the mullah's extremist radical views, destroying the state of Israel, killing Jewish people all across the world. I don't think Russia really cares about that, nor do I think they believe in that. It's more a strategic ally because they're carrying out the Russian plan in the Middle East. Look, the Russians under the Obama administration were saying for some time to our allies and also our enemies please come with us. We're the guys who are going to replace the power vacuum left by the U.S. in this region, and that's been their pitch for quite some time. Iran is a key in that. Obviously, from the side of the Iranians, they get weapons, they get money, their business, their economy is open, and their military is boosted. So for the Iranians, they covet this relationship much, much more, and will kind of try to wring it dry for all it's worth.
Right. Doesn't it have the possibility, the potential at least, of coming back to bite Russia, though? Because in the whole scheme of things, you know, Iran is one of the primary state sponsors of terrorism. They export radical Islam throughout the entire world. They sponsor these things. It's where much of that ideology emanates from. Russia has been a target of radical Islamic attacks, terror attacks, you know, not just recently, not just the last couple of months, but the last couple of years. At what point, perhaps when Iran has obtained the nuclear weapon that they want with Russia's help, are they going to turn on Russia?
Look, it's certainly possible. I think a lot of people here in D.C. see an opportunity to kind of turn these two away from each other through a combination of pressure on each nation, and also through a combination of renewed military might by the U.S. in that region. What we saw with the strike in Syria was fear from the Iranians and fear from the Russians, because it's kind of destroyed their access. It's pushed a little bit back in the direction that they thought they might have been going in to begin with. So Trump actually sent a blow to that relationship, but I don't see it backing off. I know I've spoken to experts who don't actually agree with me on this. They think that the relationship is not quite as tight as it might be, but I actually disagree. I think these two are in it for the long haul for quite a few years down the road.
Right. It's a very unlikely pairing, very unlikely, and perhaps even more so given the fact that Russia is supposed to be the puppet master of Trump. You know, why would they ally themselves with a nation like Iran if that were in fact true? Adam, thanks for being here. It's great to see you.